In this video, we're going to look at importing field data into a survey. Let's start by opening an existing survey file. We'll find that in the G2346. Let's open the -1 file, and we'll turn right around and save it as G2346. Okay, let's take a look at the points we have imported earlier, points 1, 2, 3, and 8. These are going to become our control points for the imported data. Let's go to import the file. Let's go to File, Import. The file we'll be bringing in is a TDS raw file. And let's go into the options. We're going to turn on an option that says Rotate and Translate to an equals label. So this tells us that if we use one of these points that already exists in the survey to go ahead and rotate and translate our data collector points to that same position. And we'll see that more clearly if I turn on the details. Let's turn the details on. Let's browse to a file. And we see that we've got individual files 1, 2, 3. I'm actually going to bring in a combined file. It has a number of loops in it. And let's go ahead and choose Import. Traverse PC reads through each of the records in the file. See, the message view is building our report for us. Now we see that we've brought in 314 points. So let's close this out, and let's just expand out our message view here a little bit and head up to the top. So the message view tells us the file that we imported, and we can see then that we're looking at position for point 3, that's 10,000, 10,000, and 100 feet of elevation. So these are really assumed coordinates. That here's point 3 we use as an occupied point, and then we've got a position for point 1 that we use as the back site, and then we take off and start shooting 4 sites, in this case 4 site 4. So let's close that, or let's take a look at the bottom of the view now, and we'll see what it did with this rotation. So when we're all done reading the data, Traverse PC says, I changed a duplicate point 1 to 1:1 because 1 already existed. And I did the same for 2, 3, and 8. In fact, those are the points that we started with. So Traverse PC is protecting those original geodetic positions, but reusing the point labels that it found that matched in the data collector. And then we see that we did the rotation and translation. So it translated from the data collector's point 3, it got relabeled as 3:1, to our geodetic position for 3, and it rotated about 3:1 by a minus 3 degrees, 5 minutes, 19 seconds. Okay, so let's first open up our points. And let's go ahead and select and unselect these just to clear it. If I look at my geodetic positions and my coordinates, I can see that they're very similar to the control points I started with. In other words, everything is on my control point grid because of the rotation and translation. And that's just what I would expect it to do. So we'll just scroll down here, look at the rest of these points. I've got some COGO points, descriptions on points. Okay, so everything came in, rotated, and translated. Now let's take a look at our traverses. Remember, the first traverse is the GPS control points we imported. There were 4 of them. But here's our raw file that got imported. I'm just going to double click that. Traverse PC used the file name to name the traverse, but also gave us the full path for it. And I'm going to tell Traverse PC that we want to use a control 2D format instead of a 3D, because we're not interested in instrument heights and target heights. And real quickly, if I just check out the Advanced tab here, this particular TDS format always comes in as grid. So grid distance, grid bearings, just like it is in the data collector. So when Traverse PC recomputes, it'll use grid for that. We're going to set the tag, choose OK, and let's take a look at what we actually got here in the traverse. So here's our raw data right out of the data collector. We know which points are control points, which points are back sites, side shots, etc. I'm just going to slide this over here. Let's bring up our drawing view, create a new drawing called Drawing 1, and just do a zoom extents. So Traverse PC has brought the control loops in, and we can see they're actually loops. I could come back to my GPS data, turn on that traverse as well, and let's just go into the settings for this real quickly and choose something for these control points that will make them stand out. Let's choose red, let's choose none for annotations, none for the line, and put something in here like a triangle and make it pretty big. So if I were to zoom in now, I can see that here are my GPS control points, 2 of them over here, 2 of them right here, and that's the basis of bearing now that I'm using to rock all the rest of the imported data onto. So for right now, I don't want you to get too excited about the fact that there's a 3:1 point, a 1:1, 2:1, and 8:1. We'll actually show you an alternate way to import data so we don't produce these redundant points like this. But I wanted to show you this one for now.